Hello, everybody. It's Joy from the Denver, Colorado area, and I'm so happy to be doing a presentation for you today in the Global Inspiration Stamp Team. So I'm going to be using a few new products today, but I am going to be using a bundle that you might not have thought of if you are a card maker. Now you have the beautiful Ordinary Life suite that of course is in the May to August 2026 catalog, and you have this suite here. Excuse me. But then if you turn one page over, you have a coordinating scrapbooking suite that is called the Extraordinary Life Bundle. Now I'm going to be making a card with the Extraordinary Life Bundle today. So we have the Extraordinary Life stamp set with the Extraordinary Life dies. You have some really fun dies here. You have this one here, which we're going to be using, and then you have the butterfly and the flower, which we're also going to be using today. And then we have the freezes and frames. We're going to be using this little one right in the middle for our project today. And then we're going to bring in a old tried and true Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder, and we're going to be using that today. So the papers are gorgeous. They are the beautiful Ordinary Life 12 by 12 papers, and they have your A side here with all these nice, wonderful colors. And then you have your B side, which is all black and white. So that is fun as well. So we are going to be using actually three patterns. We're going to be using this one. We're going to be using a little bit of two pattern and a little bit of this one today. So that's what we're going to be using today. We are going to be making this fun fold. It is really not a complicated fun fold, but it is a very nice one. So you have this little flap here, and then you have a piece, a little focal point there, and then you lift it up, and then you have the inside of your card. So this is a very fun one. We're going to be doing this today. It is actually very simple to do, but it gives a really kind of a wow factor. So first off, we need some of our crisp cantaloupe cardstock. So this is half of a sheet of cardstock. Mine just happens to be an imperial, which is 4 1/4 by 11. And then, of course, half of 8 1/2 by 11 is 5 1/2, so it is scored at 5 1/2. So that is our card base. We can go ahead and we can fold that down and then give that a nice crisp crease with our foam folder. So we have that one. And then we have another piece of crisp cantaloupe, and it is 4 1/4 inches this direction, but it is 4 inches this direction. So 4 1/4 this direction and 4 inches this direction. I think that's right. Let's hope. Nope. I need to score it down a little bit further. I have it at a score line. I need to make my score line a little bit further because ultimately my piece is going to be 3 3/4 that direction. So we'll fix that in a minute. We'll fix the score line here. And then we have a piece of DSP that is 3 3/4 by 3 5/8, and it does need to be 1/8 of an inch smaller on one side because, oh, well that's correct. I don't know. I don't know why I thought it was different. But anyway, yeah, okay, we're good. So it does need to be a little bit smaller that direction so that we had that nice border going around there. Excuse me. And then of course we need a inside layer of the basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and you will get all these measurements in the PDF. If you place an order with your demonstrator that invited you to this group, if you place an order by the 24th, then you will get all of all of our projects with measurements and pictures all in one place, all in one PDF for you. So 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So this is a quarter size sheet. So you start out with a half size sheet and then a quarter size sheet here. And then we have a piece we want to use to cut out our frame here. So we have a piece of basic white, but we, because it's a very detailed frame, I've decided to use some adhesive sheet to for the backing. So this is a piece of basic white, and it is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then a piece of the adhesive sheet. So you get your adhesive sheets here. They come 6 by 12, and then you cut them down to fit. So, and then we need some scrap pieces for our flowers, and then we need a small strip of the DSP for our butterflies. Excuse me. It's all the, all the pollen in the air for the springtime is just getting to my throat. But it is beautiful. I love the spring. So we're just going to put this on like this. Oh, okay, that's a little bit longer than it needs to be. So we're going to use a pair of scissors to just give that a nice little trim. And then get rid of our trash here. So this piece, we're going to do some die cutting out of this piece. All right. Like I said, we need some scrap pieces. We need a piece of the DSP. So a piece of this DSP here, about 3/8 to 1/2 inch, something like that, by the 3 3/4. This should be correct. Yes. So we need a strip of that, and we need a strip of DSP here, of that kind of DSP. So that one is out of this sheet here. We need 2 frames, so I have one already die cut. We need a small piece of the crisp cantaloupe, and then we need a scrap of basic white. So let's go ahead, let's just do, what do we want to do first? Yeah, let's hold off on the stamping. Let's go ahead and do some embossing and die cutting. All right. Let's start with this piece here. This is our quarter sheet here. And we do need our large Stampin' Cut and Emboss versus the mini. And we need a number 1 plate and a number 4 plate. And we also need our Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. This is a nice big one. We could make some really large pieces with this one. So we're going to put this in. We have a little line here to make sure we get it straight. Now, not all of the lines on this embossing folder are straight. They do have a little bit of a wave to them, so don't worry if it looks like your lines are a little off. It's because it's the nature of the embossing folder. Okay, this side, always, 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 the folded side goes into the machine. So we're gonna do our sandwich here. We got the one, we got our folder with the paper in it, and we have our number 4. You always need to have the number 4 on top. So we're gonna, oops, here we go. I'm gonna run that through the embossing folder. Make sure this, this is kind of floating around on my desk here. So this is the Barely Blush. We're using Barely Blush and Crisp Cantaloupe. And then we're also going to be using this piece here. If you look at the back of the DSP, it tells you the colors. So it says Basic Black, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Pretty Peacock, Real Red, and Timid Tiger. So this is like a pool party color. So Pool Party, Barely, Barely Blush, and Crisp Cantaloupe are those colors there. Oh, and you need a little scrap of like some Lost Lagoon. I chose to use a piece of the two-tone Lost Lagoon. So you have a darker and a lighter. I used a scrap of this because I wanted the lighter of the Lost Lagoon, the lighter tone of the Lost Lagoon. We will use that, just a little scrap of that for some leaves. Excuse me. All right. We have this, we have this. Okay. So now, what else? We need some more die cutting. All right. We have this, we have another one of these. We need to make another one of those. Oh, and also we need to do a little bit of stamping before we can do the rest of our die cutting. So I'm just going to show you, I have some pieces already prepared, but I just wanted to show you what I did. So I am using the Basic Black Hybrid ink. It does take a little bit of dry time, which is another reason why to do this now. And you kind of have, it's, it's much easier once you've opened it a few times. If you're having trouble, Jenny in our group had a really cool way you could glue dot a like an old block on it for like a knob. You can also take your pick tool and just kind of run it right along the edge here. Try to pop that open. So it just kind of popped that open there. But once you've opened it a few times, it does get much easier to open. I will tell you that. All right. So we need a butterfly here. We're just going to stamp a butterfly. We're going to do one that's mostly this Barely Blush color. Oh, it didn't come all the way. There we go. And then we need a couple of flowers. That one got a little close to the edge. We'll need 2 of those. Well, this one's a little bit better. We're going to get that a little bit of ink drying time, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of coloring with a couple of the shimmer pens. So that's another thing that's brand new that we have is shimmer pens. So those need to dry just a little bit. We do need a piece of this crisp cantaloupe here that we're going to use to do a little frame. So we're going to pull out our little frame here from the Phrases and Frames. And then we're going to do something with the impressions mat. So I don't know if anyone has shown you that. I got to watch most of them this morning, but I haven't gotten to watch all of them. So somebody else might show you the impressions mat as well, but it's always good to see it a couple of times. Again, like I said, we have a die for the butterfly, a die for the flower, and a die for leaves. All right, we're going to do these two. This is the one that we did our adhesive sheet on the back. So you need to make sure, like if you're not sure which one was the adhesive sheet, you can actually like put an X on the back, so then you know that that's the back side. Let's bring this in, and our cutting sandwich, which is the 1, the 2, and 2 number 3s. So again, this is the back side, so we're going to do the front side. Got a piece of washi tape here. And then we have another one over here. So we're just going to I'm going to turn that a little bit. I'm going to turn that one a little bit too. Sometimes if you turn them a little bit, they go through the machine just a hair easier. I'm going to check the one that we have the adhesive sheet on the back, make sure it cuts all the way through. If it doesn't, you might have to run it through another time. Then you have this nice little square here that you can use on another project. And then, you know, you could even maybe find a use for this frame as well. Okay, fold up our machine for a minute. I'm going to pop this out. We're just going to use our little die brush here to get some of those pieces out. So there, see how easy those came out? All right. So now we have something else we're going to do with this one. So we're going to take this one and we're going to use the impressions mat, and we're going to make that little detail, that little kind of embossed detail, we're going to make it stand out more. So we are going to take a spritzer with some water in it. So this is just one of our Stampin' Spritzers. It has a little bit of water in it. Okay, there's my nozzle. I'm just going to hold it in my hand, and I'm just going to lightly give this a little water. Ooh, okay. Here we go. Just a little water in there. You don't want to get it too wet, but you do want some dampness there. Maybe just a little bit more. Seems like it lost a bunch of my... Okay. There we go. That's a little bit more damp. I think that'll be right. So then we want to put it back into the die, and we want to bring our machine back, and we want to use the impressions mat. Now the impressions mat is a separate piece that you can get, and it does kind of show you how to do this. It says you die cut it first using this sandwich, and then you take and you flip it over and you use your number 1, your number 2, your impressions mat, and your number 4. Whoops! Okay, got to knock things over here. All right, here we go. We need our number 1, our number 2, and our number 4, and our impressions mat. Impressions mat has a little, it's a rubbery mat. It has a little Stampin' Up! Logo on the bottom there. So what you want to do is you want to take your damp dye. Well, I might need just a little bit more water. We're going to put just a hair more. It kind of lost some of its moistness. Like I said, you want a little water, but not too much water. And then you want to get it back into that dye. You want to make sure it's lined up really well back into that dye. And then, very important, I would make sure to have some not very tacky washi tape to tape that down and keep that in place. So our 1, our 2, our die upside down, our impressions mat, you just kind of let it lay there, and then our number 4. So that's the sandwich we need for the impressions mat. And yes, it will kind of come out the end here. That should be totally fine. And we're going to open it up here. And it stayed in place. So now I want you to see the difference in these two dies. So this is the one that I did with the impressions plate or impressions mat, and this is the one without. So you can see a difference. This one's with, this one's without. You can definitely see a difference there. And this is already getting dry. So we're going to move all of this out of the way. And I'm going to make sure that my dies get put back so that I don't lose them, because that would be very sad if I lost them. So I'm getting them back in their packages so that I do not lose them. All right. So now I want to take this one, and I have a little Sending You Hugs stamp that is part of the phrases and frames here. This has wonderful phrases here. Some outside phrases, inside phrases. So this is just a really fun one. All right, so we got our Sending You Hugs, and we have our basic black hybrid ink. And I'm going to test this just a little bit on some scrap paper. Okay, come on. Oh, that's a little too much. Okay. Come on. Stop being finicky. There we go, that's better. Okay. We're just going to eyeball this. Hopefully this works like you want it to. Beautiful. So then we have those pieces. Oh, and I wanted to show you that this hybrid ink will kind of stain your stamps, but the Stamp and Mist, this is a really old bottle, but Stamp and Mist will help you clean this. You can kind of get that on there and let it sit for a second. And then you can use a paper towel or something, and it will help you get that ink kind of off of there. Like I said, it will kind of stain, but the ink is coming off. And you might have to do it a couple times. But the ink will come off and it won't transfer to your other colors. So don't worry if it stains a little bit with the hybrid ink. And the hybrid ink doesn't dry instantly, so you could emboss with it if you wanted to, if you were quick about putting that embossing powder on. So let's find all our pieces. We have these two frames. We have a little piece. We have a little baggie with some pieces here. Oh yes, I want to color. So we have these pieces here, and I want to do some coloring. So these are the shimmer pins. So this is shimmer. This is not glitter. This is shimmer. So keep that in mind. That it's not glitter. It's shimmer. You do want to shake it up a bit before you use it. And the first time you do it, you have this little ring here. And I saved my ring to put it back on so that my pins didn't like um, get upside down and like leak all over or something. So this, the first time you do it, you're gonna shake, well, you shake it real good each time, but then you're gonna have to press right here where it says push and get that um, shimmer down to the end of the pen. And then, like I said, this is shimmer. So um, it's not going to be super glittery. It's just going to give a shimmer to it. I don't know. You probably can't see that on camera. It does give it a nice little shimmer there. And then, like I said, I decided I was going to keep my ring and put it like that so that it would keep it from like leaking when I wasn't using it. And then we have our, that was Barely Blush. We have our Crisp Cantaloupe. It comes in all 5 colors. The Crisp Cantaloupe, Barely Blush, Golden Glow, Hydrangea Hue, and Peaceful Pine. So you can get the shimmer brushes in all 5 colors, so that's nice. And then we have, of course, our tried and true Wink of Stella. So I did put some Wink of Stella over these, so these are already colored in, over these butterflies that I cut out of, that I die cut out of the DSP. I stamped and then die cut from the DSP. So I'm just gonna give some shimmer here. I think I'm gonna need a little bit more down at the end. Whoops, oh, that's a lot. Okay, well, we know it's coming out now. Oop, it's getting, that's a lot. You don't want quite that much. Well, this butterfly is going to be really shimmery with a little bit of the gold glitter that's in the wink of Stella. Okay, when that dries, maybe it won't be quite so shimmery, but maybe since it's so shimmery, you can see it on camera. Yeah, there you can see it. So that's got a lot of shimmer. Let's see if I can blot a little bit of that off. There we go. That's a little better. But it does have some really nice um, shimmer on it. So now we have tons of pieces here. So this is kind of a piece a lot card. And again, this is, what size was this again? 4¼ by 4. And then it was scored. So we want this to be at 3 3/4 on this side, and then we scored it. So now we can just go ahead. I wanted this the same color as my card base. And then this piece here is going to go on here and right up to that edge. So let's go ahead and let's assemble that piece. Here is my trusty and true multi-purpose liquid glue, or green glue as we fondly like to call it. Oop. Nope, it doesn't go that way. It goes this way. I'll fold that over because I want that right along that edge there. And I love that the multi-purpose liquid glue doesn't bond instantly. It does give you a little bit of wiggle room so that you can get it the way you want it. Alright, so like I said, this goes right against that folded edge. And then we have this piece here, which is the Barely Blush that we embossed with the Forever Plaid embossing folder. And this is the same size as our card front. So if you're doing this measurement with the metric instead of imperial, just know that it's a quarter size sheet and it would completely cover your card front. And then this one, we need this flap here. We're just putting this on the flap. And we're kind of holding this to decide where exactly we want this. And when we get it where we want it, we're going to fold it over and then lay it down like so. So now it goes like this. Oh, little wiggle room. All right, so it does come out, have a little bit of an edge there that comes out so that it can wrap around the card. All right, there we have those pieces. And we're going to start doing our focal points here. So this is one of our um, frames, and I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool. It's going to help me get this embossing, get this adhesive sheet off. Sometimes it comes up easier than others. There we go. This is going to be centered on the front here, just eyeballing it. And this one goes on the other flap. So kind of in between these two here and over a little bit. Okay. Then we need dimensional, a couple of them, because Joy loves dimensionals. Oops, stuck to my glass mat. So Facebook is not showing me your comments, so I will go back and I will respond and reply to your comments, because comments are always fun. And then we need a couple of these, so we need to, yes, we're going to have to use some scissors here, and we're going to trim around right up there next to the black so that we don't have white in between our overlapping flowers. So let's see, we need a couple more. I'm going to put one right about here, and then this one is going to overlap it slightly, right where we trimmed off. And we have our leaves here. A couple of dabs of glue. We're just going to slide under like this. And then let's put these. We're going to do something special with these. We're going to use some edge pieces. Right on the edge of those wings. This one needs a little trim. Just trimming the dimensional just a hair, so it's not coming off the side of our butterfly. I could use minis as well. These edge pieces are kind of perfect for this. It just shows that there is a purpose and for every single piece of your dimensional sheet. And then we're going to put some just right down the center, just right down there. And, whoops, we're going to get these pieces off. I do one at a time. Alright, so we're just going to put this right about here, and we're going to press that center down. We're going to hold it, kind of let it dry a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to do this one also, and this one's going to go up here. Again, we're going to press that down because we want the body part to be down flat, but we want the wings to be up. So that gives just a little bit of dimension, and then when you do it this way, it kind of curls the wings a little bit. So it gives it just a little bit of a dimension so that it looks like those butterflies are just kind of coming off there. And then we have our inside piece. Let's get this prepared. So we have this little strip that we did. This one happens to be 3/8 of an inch by 3 3/4, so it's just a little piece off of our front piece. Or, you know, the same width as our front piece. And we're just going to put this, oops, on here like this. And then we have this butterfly. This one's just going to go flat. Because we have enough dimension going on, we don't want it too thick in our envelope. So we have our inside. We're going to attach our inside. And bring this over. We're just attaching this with a little bit of a border all the way around. Now we just need a little embellishment. So we do have the 2026 to 2028 in color butterflies. So how fun is that? So I want a tiny little one in the Barely Blush color. And it's going to go right about here. And at a little angle. It's going to go right there where my sentiment is. And then I decided I wanted the crisp cantaloupe. So we have a crisp cantaloupe coming off up here, and a larger one and a small one. So a couple of little crisp cantaloupe butterflies, a little Barely Blush one against the crisp cantaloupe. And there we have our project that I did for you today. So this is absolutely a fun and easy fun fold. But then I wanted to show you another sample that I made previously with this same bundle, and also again with the sending you hugs from the phrases and frames. So, and then I used the embellishments that go with this suite for this one. So again, a different kind of paper, and then the Barely Blush ribbon. And then of course we have some more butterflies on the inside. So this is an alternate. This is our sample we did today. And thank you so much for joining me. I am the last presenter for today. I hope that you get rested up tonight. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Get rested up tonight. And then come back tomorrow morning and do the the rest of our presenters. I can't talk today. The rest of our presenters starting in the morning. You're going to be starting off with Diane Inkster. She is 9 a.m. Central Time or 8 a.m. Mountain Time, which is what I am here. So thank you so much for joining us today. Um, you've already heard about all of our fabulous new ink colors, some of our really great products that we've got that are brand new, and then of course our joining special, which is a fabulous deal. Don't forget the joining special and talk to your demonstrator about it. And then of course, um, you will get this project here with the measurements in our PDF that is our event special for placing an order with the demonstrator that invited you to this group. So I hope to see some of you in the comments tomorrow on everyone else's videos. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye.